Have you ever noticed that person? The one who arrives for a 7 p.m. dinner reservation at 6:45. The colleague who is already sitting in the conference room, laptop open, 10 minutes before the meeting officially begins. There's something strange about them. We often dismiss it as simple punctuality. A good trait, right? But here is the paradox. For them, arriving on time is actually late. Their on time means 15 minutes of quiet, unhurried preparation. They are the architects of the empty space. They watch the world fill up around them. But why? Why does that 15-minute buffer feel like an emotional necessity rather than just a logistical preference? Is it just about respecting time? Or is it about something deeper, something hidden in the architecture of their mind? What is the silent, psychological debt they are trying to pay by always arriving early? When you commit to a meeting, a date, a flight, you don't just commit to the event itself, you commit to a specific moment in time. But for the perpetually early person, that commitment is a high-stakes contract, and they cannot risk breach. You see them sitting there, calm, collected. You assume they are just waiting. But here's the truth. They are not waiting. They are controlling. Their punctuality is a suit of armor. It is a defense mechanism built against the unpredictable, chaotic forces of the world. Traffic jams, misplaced keys, a sudden detour. They preempt all of it. They build a moat of minutes around their core self. But here's what's fascinating. This isn't about you, the person they are meeting. It's about them. It's about an internal need so strong that the potential for even a 5-minute delay feels like a genuine existential threat. A loss of self-sovereignty. Do you ever feel a knot of anxiety tighten in your chest if you're cutting it close? That feeling is the driving force. The psychology behind this runs deeper than a simple respect for the clock. It often traces back to a core need for predictability and security. Think about attachment theory. While it primarily explains relationships, its principles speak to our fundamental need for a stable, responsive world. The perpetually early person might have internalized a subtle message from childhood or early life experiences, that the world is inherently unreliable. Maybe a parent was chronically late, making the child feel abandoned or unimportant. Maybe their childhood was marked by sudden, unpredictable changes, a sense of always catching up, always scrambling. And so they develop a psychological countermeasure. They become the agent of order. They create their own stability. They are saying, I may not be able to control the external world, but I can control my relationship to it. When they arrive early, they are giving themselves a psychological gift, the gift of the buffer. That buffer is a silent, invisible space where nothing is demanded of them. And this is where it gets complex, because the early arriver often carries an enormous burden of empathy. They don't just fear the consequences of their tardiness, they fear the consequences of their lateness on you. They perceive tardiness as a form of time theft. If they are 5 minutes late, they haven't just lost 5 minutes. They have stolen 5 minutes from you. They have forced you into a state of passive waiting, and for them, that is a profound moral failure. But the truth is, this isn't just empathy, it's also a form of intense self-monitoring. They have an almost hyperactive sense of what social scientists call mirror neurons firing. They can feel your potential impatience, your frustration, your perceived judgment even before it materializes, and they find that anticipation unbearable. Their early arrival is, ironically, a bid for social safety. It's their attempt to be perceived as reliable, trustworthy, and beyond reproach. They are so afraid of disappointing you that they choose to live in a constant state of preemptive stress. Do you recognize this feeling? The internal pressure to be perfect? We talked about control, but here is the magnificent paradox. The early arriver endures the low-grade stress of preparing early, the rushing out the door, the frantic checking of the itinerary, in order to experience a moment of profound, deep calm. The silence they find in those empty 15 minutes is not emptiness. It is control achieved. It is the moment they finally drop their shoulders. They are not just waiting for the event, they are waiting for the feeling of safety to wash over them. But there's a cost. They may often feel resentful, even exhausted. They look around and see others who breeze in, right on the dot, radiating an easygoing confidence, and a small voice inside the early arriver whispers, "Why is it so hard for me?" They feel the pressure to always be the responsible one, the one holding the emotional and logistical fort. They rarely experience the casual spontaneity of just making it. They are never truly in the moment, because they are always preparing for the next moment. So, what do we do with this understanding? We offer a gentle reframe. If you are this person, stop viewing your early arrival as just good manners. See it as a psychological barometer. It's telling you something important about your deep-seated needs. You have an exceptional ability to plan, to predict, and to care for others' time. These are genuine strengths. But when that planning comes at the expense of your peace, it has become a master, not a servant. Here's what's really happening. Your brain is attempting to solve a deeper anxiety by applying a logistical fix. But you can't solve an emotional problem with a perfect schedule. Try an experiment. Just once. Intentionally aim to arrive only 5 minutes early. Can you sit with the mild discomfort of that reduced buffer? Can you trust yourself not to fall apart? The silent psychological debt you've been trying to pay, the debt of proving you are worthy, reliable, and in control, is an illusion. The 15 minutes of preparation you demand are not a failure of character. They are simply a measure of how much you demand of yourself. Your hypervigilance, your deep sense of responsibility, the way you create order in a disordered world, these are admirable qualities, but they do not need to be fueled by fear. The next time you arrive early and settle into your seat, don't just wait for the meeting to begin. Take a moment to thank that hyper-responsible part of you. And then gently tell it this: you are safe now. You have done enough. True connection isn't built on perfect punctuality, it's built on presence. And you deserve to be fully present, not just present. You are not defined by the minutes you save, but by the moments you allow yourself to inhabit. If this gave you a new perspective on yourself, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the subtle psychology of everyday life. Which personality quirk should we dissect next? Let me know in the comments below.